everyone. Good evening. Where can I start? Oh man, as a little boy in the Bronx, at 3 years old is probably when I can remember hearing some type of noise that had to do with music. And ever since that noise, I've never been right since, you know. And as I got older and I learned what that noise was, I got deeper into it. And, you know, and then my dad, being a big, huge record collector from Jamaica, when he came over to the States, you know, as I got older and I got to realize what records do and what they look like and what they sound like and, you know, a record player and so forth, my mom bought me a Fisher-Price record player. I don't know if y'all remember the plastic, and you close it and it plays the record. I had one of those, nice, hold it and have my favorite record with me and, you know, just walk around the neighborhood with that Fisher-Price record player. And I think my parents noticed something in me with music, how I used to act whenever music was playing, you know, and it kind of, you know, interested them to see me act out in a way where it was just like, I don't know, maybe cute to them or something like that, but I just loved music so much. And then when I became like, when I was like 7 or 8 years old, I started learning how to scratch at an early age. So once I started doing that, my cousin Floyd, who was Heavy D's brother, taught me how to DJ and scratch and how to learn, you know, learn the equipment and so forth. And he was a very good DJ himself, and I was fortunate enough to learn from him, from the skills he presented to me. And I always thought it was cool to see a DJ in action, and because, you know, my whole career starts from being a DJ first, so I'm going through that stage. So you know, and then once I started learning how to scratch, I just, you know, that was something that I always wanted to do passionately, to the point where I broke into my cousin's house and went down in his basement and turned on his equipment when nobody was home. And I started DJing, and they came home and they saw me in there and they knew they locked the house up. But they have a cellar with a door that was open. So one day I came down there and I was knocking on the door, nobody was answering the door. I went around the back, nobody answered the back, and then I just looked in the basement window, and I thought to myself, I said, And then I went in the cellar door, and I went downstairs. The door was open. So I went down there and turned on the music and started DJing. And they came home, and they screamed on me. You know, this is family, so it doesn't matter. But they screamed on me. They was like, yo, how'd you get in here? You know, you ain't got no key? And I was like, the cellar door was open. But the fact that I wasn't in there causing no mischief. I just came in there to, you know, get busy, and he saw that and was like, you know what, I'm gonna teach you how to, you wanna learn how to use this? And I was like, yeah, I wanna learn how to, you know, DJ, and you know, he taught me. And then once I got the hang of it, it was like nonstop. I became a beast, and I just, that's all I wanted to do every day, like in my room. And once my cousin Heavy D got his record deal, you know, Eddie F was like the top DJ in my neighborhood, Mount Vernon, and he had equipment to play with. So every time I would go over his house, I would be practicing DJing or learning how to use the bigger equipment, which was like the drum machine and keyboards that he was making beats with for Heavy D. Once I seen that and got into that, you know, once I learned that, it was just like, wow, I felt like I was in heaven, like hip-hop heaven. And some of my favorite producers, growing up was Marley Marl, Howie T, Larry Smith, Russell Simmons, Curtis Blow. These guys made records, you know, these guys made music too. They didn't just rap. And those were some of the guys that I looked up to. And Kool Herc, of course, who's from the Bronx, Bambaataa, like Elena mentioned earlier. These guys, I have to give the utmost respect to, because without them, hip-hop wouldn't even be here. So I wouldn't be able to get a chance to express myself in a positive way when it came to music. But once I got into DJing, and Hev just took me under his wing and took me everywhere with him. When he, you know, actually was going through the process of getting a record deal, I remember his very, very first demo. I was there for that. And then once he got signed, and you know, off of his demos that he made, Mr. Big Stuff and all of that stuff, we were excited. And then just things started happening. So when I was hanging out with him, he would bring me to Marley Marl's house and Howie T's house and Teddy Riley's house. And I'm in there like, oh my God, you know, just soaking it all up. Like, I'm a person that I can learn from just watching and listening. I don't have to ask too many questions, you know. And I got a good chance to do all of that being under Heavy D's wing. And God bless him for that. And, you know, from then on, it was just like, you know, so many opportunities were happening for Hev. And at the time when I was at Marley's house, lucky me, his previous DJ that he was DJing with on BLS got into a car accident and he needed a fill-in. So Hev kept talking about me, saying, yo, my little cousin PeteRock, he's dope, try him out. I know you'll like him. You know, you ain't got to put him on the air first, but, you know, set up your equipment at home and let him get busy. I'm telling you, he's dope. And Marley gave me a shot. And, you know, my first time on the air, I met Mr. Magic. And I think I just turned 15 years old. And I met Mr. Magic and stuff. And I was blown away because I used to be sitting by my tape recorder and my radio, like, letting off the pause button off of anything new that was coming from the Juice Crew. Like, anything Marley ever did, I was always like this by the radio, you know? And I was inspired by that heavily, by the man behind the music. Always wanted to know who was the man behind the music. And I always wanted to be that person. And when I expressed that to Hev, he said, you know what? You're gonna make that happen, man. You're gonna start working with me. You're gonna co-produce. You're gonna get your ideas together, and you know, and let's try to make some music together. And on Hev's second album, Big Time, is when I started my first co-producing works. But then during that time, I broke off on my own and did something with another group called Groove Be Chill. I don't know if y'all remember them, but they were in all the House Party movies. And one of them is in a wheelchair now. He's been in a wheelchair. He's an actor. He's been in a wheelchair for a minute. And that was my first thing I ever did by myself in the studio. Didn't know what I was doing. Me and the engineer was arguing with each other just because I was inexperienced with, like, being in the big house studio. My first time, and I was very young. I was like 16 years old. And you know, it took a couple of days for me to get it, and then once, you know, me and the engineer started clicking, it kind of started working out, and then, you know, I was like ready for the next session, you know what I'm saying, and then the next session, and the next session. And that's basically how it started, you know, with producing. It came from DJing on the radio to actually being inspired by the person you're DJing with, who's Marley Marl, and others, but, you know, you're right there with Marley, so you know, I'm right there with Marley, so, you know, he was the one that, like, he was my #1 favorite producer. And I remember I wanted to impress him, but not at that moment, but I wanted to, you know, get more practice and come back and say, now look at, you know, to Marley Marl, you know what I'm saying? Because he was always giving me words of inspiration. So I took that into stride and just put my best foot forward in making music, and became who I am today because of Heavy D and, you know, DJ Eddie F, Marley Marl. Lots of people played a part in my life, so I would like to, you know, thank them, also Kool Herc Bambaataa, who made me love hip-hop so much, you know. And that's how my producing career got started, you know, just from, you know, having family in the business. And, you know, some people are not that lucky, but, you know, I think I showed some type of just inspiration to the point where people could really see it on my face, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, music music makes me happy. And I was just happy to be a big contributor to hip-hop, you know. And I did it as a hobby. I didn't think about being better than the next person or competing, even though I was competing. You know, Q-Tip used to always call me and say, you know, you trying to battle me? You know, and I'm, you know, because the way I was coming with the beats, it was like cats, I was new and people didn't know who I was. And that's how I befriended a lot of the rap stars from my music, you know, and them wanting to be a part of being on something I was doing, you know, from Nas to Q-Tip to EPMD, Run DMC, Heavy D, Jay-Z, Kanye West. That's some of my recent works. Red Band, Method Man, Wu-Tang, everybody from the Wu-Tang I worked with, except for ODB, rest in peace. And, you know, I'm just happy to be a part of hip-hop, man. I'm happy that everything worked out in a way to where people loved what I was doing. And, you know, just happy to be here, you know. I couldn't do it without God and certain gods in hip-hop. You know, so if anybody want to ask me any questions, feel free. And I'll try to answer it as best as I can.
If I can start seeing hands, I'll kind of come around with a microphone.
I think this went off. But
Keep that one on.
all right.
What's going on, PeteRock?
What's up, bro? How you?
Pleasure to meet you, man.
It's all good.
Big fan.
Thank you.
I really wanted to ask, how was the experience getting in the studio with Kanye West and Jay-Z with the Watch the Throne song that you put down? I think it's called
Detroit.
Yeah, Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, what was the experience like, and you know, can you like paint a picture of what kind of person those two are in the studio?
Yeah. Well, me and Jay, I have to say, me and Jay kind of came up together at the same time. Kanye's from Chicago, so, you know, in today's new millennium, as much as hip-hop has changed, those guys befriended each other. But in the studio, actually, he was, his bodyguard reached out to me. And once he got in touch with me, he told me Kanye was looking for me. And I was like, wow, okay. I'm here. Tell him I'm here. What do I got to do? You know what I mean? And then he gave me his number and his email, so I emailed him, and he hit me right back. And in the studio, man, he's just a person who loves hip hop. He has, for a young guy, he knows his history, and I guess, you know, I didn't test him on anything. He kind of just knows. You know what I'm saying? He actually just came out his face telling me about stuff that I forgot about, that I've done. Not music, but just certain tactics in the music. Like, you know, we producers sometimes get nerdy and talk about the tactics of how we do things. You know what I'm saying? But you don't share that with everyone. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to divide and conquer. You know, but they're great in the studio together. I mean, they act like two brothers. You know, they laughing, joking. Then when it's time to, you know, get serious and like Jay-Z don't write at all. And that was amazing to see that. And Kanye writes, but he writes fast. He's quick. They're great. And then me, I came in there with like 100,000 beats prepared. You know, this is Jay-Z and Kanye we talking about. So, you know, he picked out of 10 beats I gave him, 20 beats, he picked 10. And then out of the 10, we narrowed it down to 8. And out of 8, we went down to 6. Then from 6 to 4, then to 2, then to 1. But I told him if he feels any of the other ones we did, you can always just let me know. Yo, I use this, boom, boom, boom. And so forth. Because I thought he was going to use all 8. He said he wanted to, but now I started getting all happy. But it was an amazing experience to work with Jay-Z and Kanye in Hawaii, of all places. You know, black sand beaches, you know, good food, good weather. So I was I was totally blown away.
Thank you.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Speak about a certain recording tactic that you used that was then borrowed by Diddy and has now become like a staple in hip hop. It started with you. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
You know what? Doing those ad-libs, I felt like I needed some type of trademark to let people know it's me. So, you know, I started just jumping on stuff. And how that started was I rapped on a remix, an Alexander O'Neal remix. And, you know, people, you know, was complimenting me on the rap, you know, and my first rap ever was on Don't Curse, period. Like, and I just started doing ad-libs just to let people know who's doing the remix, who's the man behind the music. And that's all that was. It was as simple as that. I didn't even think about doing it. I just did it, you know what I mean? It wasn't a plan or anything. I just did it. And it was a way to let people know I was a force to be reckoned with.
Hi, it's great to have the opportunity to ask you a question. It used to be if somebody was a hip hop producer, you could assume they were also a DJ. That doesn't seem to be the case so much anymore. And I just wanted to ask what you thought the relationship was, or the significance, or the importance of being a DJ was to being a producer.
You can't help the people that love music and want to get into it however they want to get into it. You know, I'm just telling you the way I've done it. You know, and how it made it easier for me to get into producing. And some people just want to get into producing, and some people just want to learn how to DJ. But the more you DJ, the more you feel like you want to do something else, you know, and that's what was going on for me. And that something else was music, was creating music and being creative. And I have to say, within my family, we've always been that way, you know, creative with anything, you know, whether it was cooking or playing or whatever, you know, it was something that we always just tried to master, you know.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, hip-hop has like a very humble beginning from the Bronx and from its status as street art kind of, and now it's grown to super success. I wanted to know how you feel about the super success of hip-hop, you know, to worldwide fame and everything, and how do you feel also about the exploitation of hip-hop now that you guys have gotten it to that level?
I feel with today's hip-hop, the people in today's hip-hop, the artists, they really, really, really need to respect the school of Bambaataa more, the school of Kool Herc. You know, these are the people that started this whole thing, you know, and I don't see that a lot, you know, with the respect for the older peers who actually brought the music in from, you know, who started the music in the Bronx. Hip-hop has become so big. In a positive sense, I look at it as a positive sense, with the contributions that people like myself made, DJ Premier, Q-Tip, Large Professor, all these people made great contributions to hip-hop to actually make it bigger. And, you know, and we inspire other people, you understand? We inspire other people to want to either do music or do something pertaining to music, or as far as, you know, you say the exploitation of hip-hop. I feel there's people in it for the fast buck, and then there's people in it who really love it, you know. And I speak to those people, you know what I mean? Because when you're in it fast, you go out fast. And, you know, people need to remember that and realize that the business that we're in and the people we cater to are the ones who made you, who actually buy your music to make you famous. So we just need more respect for the older peers.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for sharing. It's an honor. My name's Yvonne. I'm from the Hip Hop Dance Conservatory.
How you doing?
I was wondering, you were talking a lot about how you know, a lot of people brought you up, and kind of mentored you and taught you and brought you around and kind of gave you the ability and opportunities to do what you're doing now. Are you also teaching and mentoring those of this generation to kind of follow your lineage and follow your...
I actually, you know, sometimes I have conversations on Facebook and Twitter about just becoming your own person, being someone in your own light, standing away from, you know, other producers and their sound. That's what makes you special. And I always preach that to the younger generation. Always tell them, like, you know, you gotta really love this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta not think about anything else. You know what I mean? Outside of your family and music. You know? And that's how it was for me. I loved it so much. You know, and I still love it. Still love it till this day. It's just something about being creative that when I sit back and listen to it, I'm like, wow, that really sounds good. You know what I mean? Not to be, you know, I don't have an ego like Kanye, but me and Kanye used to crack, you know, I used to crack jokes with him about his ego and stuff. I said, I just like you, but quiet. You know what I mean? So there you have it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Pete.
How you doing?
I just wanted you to, I guess, name a couple of the tracks that you have produced lately, because a lot of people don't read the credits.
Yeah.
And they may not be aware, oh, this is Pete's joint right here.
Watch the Throne. I did a song called Joy, which is out on the special edition. Redman and Method Man, I did a song called Ayo. My most recent, what did I just recently do? You know, a couple of underground things, because that's where my heart is, you know. People like Torre. Man, it's so many to name. It's kind of hard to think of one, but
So your
you know,
latest was on Watch the Throne?
yeah, Watch the Throne. And then I'm also excited about a new project I'm working on with DJ Premier, which will drop in this year, called PeteRock versus Premier. So. Oh, but to name a few songs, Down with the King, Nas, The World Is Yours. Let's see. Did 3 solo albums on my own. Did 3 albums with CL Smooth, all sold out. Mecca and the Soul Brother, Main Ingredient. Lots of Heavy D stuff, of course, ever since the second album on. I don't know if you guys remember Father MC, Jodeci, Mary J.
Step from Full Circle Productions.
I see that you're a Giants fan.
Yes. Better believe it, they earned that, boy.
You're all right by me.
Check it out, brother. I grew up when the DJ and the dancer were hand in hand. In particular, breakers. Worked with the block parties. And I know Heavy D and the boys had the dancers. How much did the dancers influence you with your music?
Yeah. There was a point where I was just a spectator. I used to carry records. Strictly, he brought me on tour just to help do stuff. I was the gopher, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes you got to do certain things to be around certain environments to kind of take in what's going on, you know what I'm saying? But the dancers, Glenn and Troy, rest in peace, were like, I'm a DJ, so anytime I did a party in the hood, they were there and they would make this circle while I was DJing. And then my brother who rapped, he's also, he raps too, and he was part of, you know, I. He did some freestyles on Mecca and the Soul Brother. He's also a dancer. And it's something about anytime I DJ'd a party and I was a special guest DJ, and he was with me, he would just, anytime I got on the wheels, that was it. He would just start a whole big, everybody's looking, because he could really dance, like he could dance, you know what I mean? And yeah, he would pull the crowd, just, you know, from me getting busy.
Do you miss that? You see the connection between the dancers and the DJ?
Yeah, definitely. I still kind of, you know, I'm all over the world with it now. I see Japanese breakdancing, I see people people in Australia, I see people everywhere, you know, doing it different, you know, and loving hip hop. You know, you have, you can see a difference how much more it's loved by people in another world. You know what I'm saying? Then we take it here, we take it for granted, and you know, try to just do certain things in a fast way to get by fast. Money is sometimes, of course, we all need money to survive, but it's about passion, man. It's about the love for the music, you know, too.
Well, we got this thing for you at up on some grooves. I know you DJed it before, but in the gallery we have a party called Behind the Groove.
Okay.
Strictly, it's like the con club vibe. The best dancers, best musicians come there. So I'm gonna have an open invitation for you to come down and DJ with us.
Okay.
With DP1 and myself, and we'd love to have you as a guest.
Cool.
All right.
I just had to squeeze in one more question. I know they said that was the last one, but are there any female DJs that you like, you know, have been like checking out that you think like, oh my God, yo, she's rocking?
Female DJs, you got DJ EQ, Beverly Bond. Yeah, there's lots of them. They're coming up. You know, the females are producing as well. You know, Missy Elliott. You got people, you know, dibbling, dabbling into the men's playground. You guys are welcome. So. But as far as the DJing is concerned, for me it just started that way, and I always say that is the cornerstone of hip hop is the DJ. You know, it is. It's so true. And without a DJ, you know, people could rap a cappella, but it sounds so much better with music. You know what I'm saying? And with a dope DJ. That's just how it is. Whether you're female or male, don't matter. Anybody else?
I'm going to have the last question to the professor of the class.
Okay.
I really only have one. They're forcing me to ask you.
Okay.
Because
He does this every year.
The question I had, Professor Slosh addressed it. Because the only thing I was concerned about is, do you think that it's a difficult transition from DJ to producer?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. It's like I can't explain the feeling of when you love something so much, like you'll just be willing to do whatever it takes to make it. It wasn't hard for me at all. The only hard part was seeing how the business can really be, you know, behind the scenes. That was the only hurtful part. But outside of that, man, like this to me is just like loving your family, you know, doing hip hop music.
I hear that.
It's like a close family member.
This is probably the most difficult question that you have to leave. Stop. Leave. The most difficult questions you're ever going to have.
Okay.
Who are your top 3 MCs?
Wow.
I have to go back to the hood, so I have to be able to defend this. I have to say PeteRock is the man.
You know what? I don't have 3, but I'm going to name top 3 of my top 3. I have more than 3. I'm going to give you 3. Nas, KRS-One, oh man, Nas, KRS-One, and Common.
All right. Since you're the legendary PeteRock, I'm going to let you get away with that list without Rakim, but, you know, it's a little tears dropping right here, bro.
But see, that's what I mean. I have more.
See, no, you can't defend this, Pete. It's done.
Kane and Rakim are first before those 3.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. See, erase all the rest of the tape. There we go.
Kane and Rakim are the first. Like,
that's what I'm talking about.
When the Rooftop was open, the club Rooftop, I got to meet Rakim and take a picture with him. I got to meet Just Ice. I got to meet Dougie Fresh. I got to meet a lot of the rappers that were Harlem-based and were Queens-based in Brooklyn. And like Rakim was the only, like I was really excited about that picture. You know, about taking, because he was actually the G.O.D. of rap. I can't even front. But I was gearing towards more like a 90s, like a late mid-90s, when I said Common and Nas. But Rakim and Kane were my two favorite rappers in hip-hop. Period.
You redeem yourself. That tape is gone.